Hey guys, Sean here. In this video, we're going to be installing the Westcott Designs ladder onto my 5th gen 4Runner. So when you guys get the ladder from Westcott Designs, it already comes pre-assembled, which is really nice, and it comes with all the material needed too. So we got our little padding for the bottom of the ladder on the tailgate, this clamp right here to clamp it in at the bottom of the tailgate, and we have our top plate with hardware, and also it already comes with 3M adhesive too to make it stick to the top of the 4Runner. So now one of the reasons why Westcott Designs is awesome, because when I was on the phone with them, I didn't even think about it, but check it. They asked, how are your rear struts? And I said, I didn't even think about that for the hatch struts. So they were able to send out some hatch struts too. So I definitely recommend this because my 4Runner is 5 years old now. And I also have sound deadening material in here too, already making the rear hatch heavy. So my hatch, you know, being old, it was kind of just going to right here. So they were able to send out also some heavy duty struts. So if you guys need those too, maybe talk to them about that when placing your order. So one of the first steps I'm going to do, I'm going to clean up this whole area from dirt because this is where our mount is going to set on top of. Also take some isopropyl alcohol too. Wipe this area up nice and well with some alcohol. Do a little test spot first to make sure you don't ruin your paint, but wipe all this down so it gives the adhesive its best chance to sticking on top of your 4Runner. So once it's all prepped, we're going to go ahead and take our top plate. These screws and nuts, they're already in this all the way through, but go ahead and take them out to make it easier to put onto the back of your 4Runner. So I cleaned it up, set it up here. I have not taken the adhesive off. If you want to put painter's tape underneath as well, you can, but there's a good amount of 3M under it. So I'm about 3.5 inches from the center right here, from where the spoiler comes in. This is metal, this is your plastic spoiler. So from about right there, it's close to 3.5 inches. So that is about where I want to be. I put painter's tape down here because in Westcott Designs video, when you open your hatch and open it up, you want your bolt that goes in right here where these little hinges are to match up with the hinge of your actual tailgate underneath. So I put painter's tape down here, slightly opened up my rear hatch, and I could tell that one of these was dead center with the hatch hinge underneath, and I'll show you guys that right now. So here's that one support hinge right there. We could see how we're pretty much dead center, and then our other one is just going to be right over here past the electrical. So once you make sure everything's lined up, just go ahead and take off your painter's tape. We're gonna go ahead and pull the adhesive off of the 3M underneath, latch this back down, pull it towards us so this is nice and flush with the back of the metal right here, and just put some pressure on it to make sure that our 3M adhesive sticks to the paint of the 4Runner. And then for reference with the top, we're at close to like 3.25, and then this kind of goes down a little bit, and then we're at 3.5 right there. And then when I said make sure you're pulling it towards yourself, you see how you can see some blue paint right here in that little etch area. So whatever color your vehicle is, just make sure you're pulling this towards yourself so this little hook area that goes down up in it is nice and secure. Then go ahead and put the Allens back through and put your set screws in. So now with everything in place, we're gonna go back over to our ladder. So we're gonna take these Allens out, take the bottom half of the ladder off, just set these aside because we'll put it on once we put it onto the 4Runner, and then we're gonna flip it up, put it on the vehicle, line it all up so we could put our pad on the bottom, and then I just went ahead and put some blue tape down here since we're gonna be resting the ladder on the hatch, just so we don't scratch it up. So you can see that we're just setting right now on the bracket, so we'll go ahead and put our bolts and washers on. So trying to put the washers and nuts onto the bolt on top, so if you have extra spare hands, pull the ladder out away from the tailgate of the 4Runner. That way you can get up under it a lot easier. So once you have your bolts up top, just go ahead and start opening up the hatch to kind of see where this will all line up. And then again, if you have 2 extra hands, to mark where you should put this rubber gasket, because we want to put this rubber gasket on first before we put on the lower portion of the ladder. So we have this marked out where we want to go, put the gasket on. Now we'll go ahead and screw the bottom step into the bottom of the ladder. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this out right here so we can get the bracket in the back. So you do have to drill with this rack, but it's just a tiny little hole on both sides. But I'd recommend before putting the ladder on to go ahead and just pop this out to make it easier. That way you don't have to hold this up and pop it out at the same time. So 2 tiny little holes we're gonna go in right there. And that is for this bracket to go up back behind here, and it'll go this way, and then you just send these bolts through, position it one last and final time to make sure that it's nice and tight on the gasket, and then just cinch it down. All right, so we got it all drilled out, and now it is supporting itself. So we have it close right here to the little rubber gasket for it. We just went ahead and put both through so the ladder isn't shimmying, because there's a lot of tension on these ladders. So we have both through, and then we're about to put the bracket through the hole right here where your handle's at, flat side towards the 4Runner. So leave the little other part out, and then just start it on one, then rotate it up, finish the other one, and tighten her down. So now the brackets are in, nice and flush. We'll go ahead and put the plastic cup back in. But from here to this drain hole is about 4 3/4. So if you want that as another reference for measurement, you guys, this to there is about 4 3/4. Go ahead and shut the tailgate. It's fine. Open it back up, and now that we have those heavier struts, it still doesn't fire back up. So when you open it up, now it goes all the way up. So before, when there was no weight on there, it would fire down, but just be careful again when you're slamming it, because we do have some weight on it. So one of the things to note is when you're messing with the top and then the bottom too, you can see we're just barely close to the 4, so that's perfect. There will still be some play in the ladder, so having 2 people is definitely a lot better than just trying to do one person. That way someone can hold the ladder in place that it's supposed to be, drill everything through. So definitely get a friend, and then give them some beer, because you have a bottle opener right there when you guys are all said and done. All right, now we'll do a shake test. Super solid. Climb up on it. Nice. All right, and final test. It works. Cheers, everyone. So that's it, guys. What do you think about the install? You know, with recording and looking at some other videos like on Westcott Designs channel, running for tacos, just to make sure that I was doing everything right and aligning things properly and recording, maybe an hour-and-a-half install when everything's all said and done. So everything's solid, looks good, matches the freaking roof rack perfectly. Loving everything on this, and the bottle opener works too. So definitely recommend 2 hands. If you guys have a friend, you could do this by yourself, but you may start cursing a lot. So some things, again, to point out towards the end, make sure that this is super close to the 4R, and then the measurements up at the top too, around 3 1/4 to 3 1/2, the way that the mount goes. So guys, appreciate you watching, and I will catch you in the next video. All right, see you later.